Hey y'all, I'm Dan, and this is Kinfolk, stories of community and connection. Today we're in Charleston, West Virginia, chatting with Lindsay Emmite, mixed media artist and owner of Bashful Bee Press. Hey everyone, welcome in. This is a super special episode. This is episode number 1. Joining us is someone who I followed on social media for a while and actually got to see her in action at the Harmony House Renaissance Fair, which was awesome. Lindsay, how has your week been so far?
It's been pretty good. It's been really busy. I'm about to start substitute teaching again, and then I have a show on Saturday. So it's
Oh my goodness.
been busy, but like a good busy.
Well, good. So, substitute teaching, what area? Like, you don't really have to say like specific town or city, but
So I live in Charleston, West Virginia. I just do like general education, so K through 12, day to day substitute teaching. That's like my
yeah,
day job, and then I focus on my art the rest of the time.
I feel you. So, before I get ahead of myself, if you want to introduce yourself, you can just give us Lindsay in a nutshell.
Lindsay in a nutshell. Oh man, that's so I have my own business, Bashful Bee Press. Go to different markets and pop-ups throughout the state and surrounding like cities,
Uh huh.
and I set up my artwork, and I've been doing that for about 4 years now. And I work in mostly gouache and watercolor color illustrations, but I also do a lot of like printmaking.
It's funny, the one of the pictures that you sent for like the artwork is one that I purchased and one that I really like. It's the possum wearing the like the little beanie.
Oh yes, that one's a bestseller.
With Charleston, have you always lived in Charleston?
I actually was born and lived in Kansas City, Missouri until I was
Really?
about 9. And then I moved like to Charleston with my family and lived here for quite a while. And then I lived in Huntington, West Virginia from about 2008 till about 2020. And then I kind of gone back and forth from Charleston to Huntington.
I think the furthest that way I've been is Colorado, and I know that's probably not. I'm not good at geography,
Oh,
but
you're fine.
how was it? If you remember a whole lot, how was it?
It's like it's weird because the state of Missouri is actually divided into like kind of two parts. So you have like the northern part of the state, which is like kind of where I was. It's like there's cities, but then like the middle of the state is like cornfields and stuff. But then you have like the Ozarks, which are similar to Appalachia, like small towns and that sort of thing. I never really went there a ton. I think I went there a couple times, but it's very flat there. It's very Midwestern. But yeah, I lived there my childhood and it was nice. I definitely feel like this is home though. Like
Uh huh.
Charleston and like, West Virginia. I don't see myself moving out of Appalachia. I definitely have like I don't know. I definitely think eventually want to move to a larger city, but for now, this is where I call home, and I have family and chosen family here, which is like wonderful.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I haven't really lived anywhere else aside from West Virginia, so
Yeah.
it's really all that I know, and it feels like home. Which I've traveled for work and other things, and got to experience a little bit of life outside of West Virginia, but I can't really see myself leaving, if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just happy here.
Yeah, it's like the people are just so warm and friendly and like I don't know. It like if you were broken down on the side of the road, like people would come and help you. That's how like nice people are here. I notice in like other cities like people are friendly, but like I don't know. I just feel like there's a certain like warmth that comes from West Virginia
Uh-huh.
specifically.
I agree, totally. So with Bashful Bee Press, I know that you say you've been at it for about 4 years now. So how did that start? And I do want to ask, I don't really want to jump ahead too much, but how did you come up with the name? Where did the name Bashful Bee Press like come from? If you want to just start, how you got into how you wanted to start a business?
Yeah. Well, I went to school for art. I went to Marshall University and I studied printmaking. So that was like my emphasis. And then I kind of fell out of creativity. Like I needed a break for a few years after I graduated. And I just worked odd jobs and everything. And then I was like getting burnt out on that and started wanting to do more creative things. So at the time, I was actually married, and my spouse and I, like, kind of came up with the name Bashful Bee Press. It took about 3 months to come up with. I had, like, a little notebook, and I would literally just brainstorm anything, and it took forever. But I knew I wanted to do something creative, and so I kind of just wanted to create my own opportunities.
Yeah.
And around 2019, 2020, I filed my LLC, but I didn't really do too much with it. I don't know. I did a lot of commissions for people, and then I started my Etsy. I had an Etsy at the time, and so I kind of soft launched that and tried to like see if I could do it. Like,
Yeah.
It's been a very like slow process, but Bashful Bee Press, I knew I wanted to incorporate press because of the printmaking thing, and that was something like I eventually wanted to incorporate back into my creative practice. And Bashful Bee, I've always been kind of like, I wouldn't say shy, but I am kind of awkward, like
Same.
that social anxiety sort of thing. So I was like, I don't know, I might as well own it. So I just put that in there. And then B, I really love the environment, and the enunciation just kind of worked. And I don't know, so it just kind of, that's how, I know it's probably not the like most like meaningful name, but like it kind of works, so.
No, I think it's awesome though because I've always liked bumblebees. I know it sounds weird, but I've just always thought like, I don't know, if I could have life-size bumblebee or something, I totally would. But I think that's
Yes.
awesome though. I mean, I'm just curious of how people, because Lord knows it took, I don't know how long to think of a different name for some of the pages that I run. And it was
Yeah.
like notebook pages, just like cross out. And then, of course, like trying to Google search to see if anybody has a similar name or something. And it's like almost impossible to
Yes.
come up with something that someone hasn't already used half of or something of.
Yeah, I think that was like a big struggle too, is like Googling and being like, oh, that's taken, oh, that's taken. And so finally, like, something wasn't taken. I was like, how much do I like this? I think I do like this a lot. So I was like, all right, we're going for it.
I think that's awesome, though. And with Bashful Bee Press, where does your, like, inspiration, when you're creating art, where does your creativity come from and, what influences your art?
So I feel like my creativity has come from a lot of like family. Grandmother, she was actually very like creative, and I would go to her house as a kid and like see like her little studio set up, and she would like kind of restore old furniture and then like do little paintings on it. And my grandfather that I didn't really meet, but like on my mom's side, he left a lot of like paintings for my family. Like he was a painter, so he would
Mm-hmm.
like take like brown craft paper and like use tempera paint and like put these like little compositions together. So I feel like it just kind of comes from that. And also my parents were really good about like taking me to museums and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One cool thing about Kansas City, Missouri is like the art scene there is really good. They have a really nice art museum called the Nelson Atkins Art Gallery. They have like, they at the time I believe they had Georgia O'Keeffe there. I was like 3. We were like going through the museum. I was like, oh wow, I love all these bright flowers and
Uh-huh.
stuff like that. So yeah, so I didn't realize at the time that they were kind of like they kind of meant something else. But as a kid, I was like, oh my gosh, these are these are beautiful. So I kind of get my inspiration from just different things. I've always been kind of creative, but yeah, and I would say recently I've been really enjoying looking at different Appalachian artists and um, I don't know, everybody kind of inspires me. There's this like community of artists and everybody's just so like nice and
Uh-huh.
you just learn a lot from each other.
Seriously, and I feel like I have trouble, like, how do you find other Appalachian artists? Do you click like hashtags? Do you search like? I feel like even with like music and stuff, I can never find other artists.
So the way I did it was during the wake of the pandemic is really when I started to start my business and
Uh
like
huh.
I was really active on social media. So I was trying to optimize like my social media and try to like follow really similar creators. So I would just optimize like the hashtag. I would look up different hashtags. I'm trying to remember which one specifically, but like West Virginia artists or
Oh,
Appalachian
okay.
artists became kind of this weird thing because like a lot of us became friends on the internet. Like we would like help each other out. Like because a lot of people were starting businesses around that time,
Yeah.
and so we were just kind of like this little community, and it was really nice. And then once things started to open up again, people would start vending, and like I would hear about events through different places. So I have my art at Red Caboose in Huntington, West Virginia. My first few events were with them, and so I met artists that way as well in person, and we created this little group chat,
Oh, that's
so
cool.
we add vendors and everything, so we all like tell each other about like different events going on and that sort of thing. So
That's actually really awesome.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, I did a lot of like networking during the pandemic, which is crazy because everybody was inside, but
Uh huh.
like I felt like that kind of gave people confidence to like talk because you didn't have to be in person. So it just like kind of created this little community.
So it's funny. I've heard so much about the Red Caboose, but I've never been there in person.
Yeah, Huntington, West Virginia is really nice. I don't know. Have you ever been to Huntington, West Virginia?
Yeah, it's funny. I live in St. Albans, so I drive to Huntington to
Oh,
get my
okay,
hair
very
cut.
cool.
So I go for like to do like just day things and then usually come back. But
Yeah, yeah. So Heritage Station is where it's located, and it's really a really nice little area. Um, there's like a little coffee shop there, and then the Wreck Caboose, and then there's like little shops. I think there's like a record store called Historic Hippie.
oh, that's
There's
amazing.
Full Circle, Gifts and Goods, like on the bottom level. It's really really cool. You should definitely check it out.
I do want to ask how, and we won't get too lost on it, but how
Oh yeah.
was vending and stuff during the pandemic? Like how was that with when it comes to selling art and stuff? When typically going to events and stuff and when people couldn't.
Yeah. So whenever I first started, people were wearing masks, which was really good, really important, and a lot of my events were outside. Yeah, everybody was kind of like, I think, starved for like social interaction.
God.
So it kind of like provided a safe environment to like socialize and, meet other people and that sort of thing.
And speaking of events, do you have any upcoming events that you will be at that listeners could have a chance to visit and purchase some art?
Absolutely. I have a few this month. Saturday the 7th, I have Possum Fest in Cumberland, Kentucky, which is about 3 hours away, I think, from Charleston. And then the following weekend on the 14th, on my calendar, I'm like, look at it. I have a little pop up with Base Camp Printing, which
Oh
I'm
my
really
goodness.
excited about. Yeah, they're doing a little pop-up, and Nicole Westfall will be there, and my mind went blank, but there's gonna be a few other, like, really good artists, and my friend Leah, she, like, makes really good food. She'll be there set up with, like, her homemade food. So I'm really excited about that. Let's see, what else do I have? At the end of the month on the 29th, I have, I don't know if am I allowed to say like curse words?
Oh, and listen, you could say anything. I don't care. This is a
Okay.
no filter show. Whatever you want to say, I don't. You could flip the camera off, and I wouldn't care.
Oh gosh, okay. Um, uh, on the 29th, I have Bad Bitch Bazaar in Pittsburgh, so I'll be up there at the end of the month. And then next month, I still don't have all my dates sorted out, but I believe it's the 25th. I'm not sure. I think it's the 25th. It's called Ghouls Night Out in Fairmont, West Virginia. And
Okay.
it's a ticketed event, but it's going to be really nice. So you based on which kind of ticket you get, either the baseline one or the VIP, you'll get like a gift bag and opportunities to win prizes and that sort of thing. A bunch of artists will be set up, there'll be live music, and it's at this like old location that is possibly haunted. I'm not sure.
Probably is.
So I'm really looking forward to that one. And that one can be found on Quartz and Cole's website. So that's really exciting. And then on November 2nd, I have localization in Huntington, West Virginia, at the West Edge Factory. So I have a few lined up, which is exciting.
Real quick before I forget, I will everything that we talk about will be in for the listeners in the show notes, so that you can find all of this, her socials and all of that. We'll get to that towards the end. For setting up and doing like an event, what is that? How does that usually happen? What is like the? You don't really have to if you don't have to fully go into it, but what's like the start,
Okay.
middle, end?
So, depending on when it is, and how far I have to travel, I'm either up super, super early, or I can just go down the road and set up. But, my car is definitely a storage unit at this point. I do them a lot, so I keep certain stuff in my car. That way it's like easy peasy. I don't really have to do too much. So usually, I make my own prints. So usually the week of, I'm making my digital prints. So I scan my gouache illustrations, and then I put a little border around it, and then I print them out on my. I have like a Canon inkjet printer, so I'll print those out. But I usually am really bad about procrastinating, and I'll be up like the night before an event like printing them out, but it's worth it. It's a lot of fun. But then the morning of the event, I usually pack up my car, any like last minute things I need to pack
Uh-huh.
up. I make sure to eat because that's very important. Breakfast is so important the day of a show, or else you'll just be like a zombie. So I usually go get a coffee and a breakfast, and then I head to the show, and then check in with the showrunners. There's usually like a checkpoint where you like ask where your space is and all that, and they point it out to you, and then you drive over there. You unpack your car. There's a lot of lifting, which honestly, like, I kind of really enjoy. Like, that's like part of the thrill of it for
Yeah.
me. If it's inside, it's not too bad. If it's outside, you have to like get your canopy tent out. Sometimes places will provide tents and tables, which is fantastic, but I've had to acquire these things over the years. So I usually put up my tent first, and then I usually do like a 2 table setup. Sometimes I'll just do one, but then I'll put those up, and then I decorate my table, and then I go move my car, and it's a really fun thing. A lot of sitting, but if you can get a friend to go with you, it's actually really nice because you get to like catch up and chat,
Yes.
and then you have somebody watch your booth. Yeah, you meet a lot of really nice people, like, and sometimes you have repeat customers, which is really validating and cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, definitely like I'm always like, really? You really like my stuff that much? That's so nice. Like,
I don't really only have I've literally only made two pieces of art so that I actually have prints of to be able
really?
to sell. I always dream of being able to set up somewhere and do that, but that'll be,
Yeah.
Lord, probably years down the road. But I just feel like my inspiration and stuff just doesn't, it's not always there. So once it's there, I like create and then it's gone for a month or something like that. So,
Yeah, it's really difficult sometimes to like create. Like happens to me. Like I think a lot of my products like came from the pandemic. So
mm-hmm.
like the possum painting, I did a prompt list actually. I created a prompt list, and a lot of the stuff from my like shop came from that. And then sometimes I'll be on a creative frenzy and I can like just whip out a bunch of stuff at once. Sometimes it takes me time, and I'm very like open, so like I struggle with mental health stuff too,
Uh-huh.
and that's a factor. I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people have that. I think like during those times I'm just kind of gentle with myself, and I'm like, I don't know. You don't have to create if you don't want to. It's kind of, but I love your work by the way. Like I love like the little cryptids and stuff like that.
Oh
It
my
looks really
gosh.
good.
Thank you. I'm trying to continue on like
Yes.
a theme like that, but sometimes I don't know. I try to force do it, and it's like I can't. So, but I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
keep
so
trucking with
hard. It
it.
has to be like natural, It
Uh-huh.
has
So
to,
speaking of Possum Fest, I feel like it kind
yes.
of is a good lead way into, aside from work, do you have any like, now Possum Fest is, like last year I heard about it and I really wanted to try to make it last year and I didn't. And I wanted to make it a goal to make it this year, but it's still up in the air on if I'm going to get to make it. So I'm hoping I do,
Oh,
but
I hope you get to
um,
go.
I know, me too, because I actually love possums, okay? But just
Yeah,
Possum
yeah.
Fest just seems like a really awesome event. But do you have any like personal fave festivals that are like around the state or in Appalachia, anywhere that you are looking forward to?
I always enjoy Quartz and Cole's events. She just does such a good job like curating them and organizing, and like she's on top of things. She's super organized, so like you're never second guessing anything.
Uh huh.
You just go, and then like it's such an easy day like and they're fun events. I did a 420 event with her last year,
Oh,
and
that's cool.
it was so much fun. Like, and it was so like curated. It was this really nice. Like all the vendors were well thought out, and she had like door prizes. She worked with Moonflower Hemp in Buchanan, West Virginia, and they like did goodie bags and stuff like that. So,
That's so cool. I love stuff like
yeah,
that.
yeah, it was really nice. So I really enjoy her events. I always look forward to localization. I have a lot of friends that run it, so that's kind of why. But it's kind of like really nice seeing everybody. Um, and then they usually have like a free after party for the vendors and like
Oh,
people
cool.
that want to attend. So it's a lot of fun too. And I'm trying to think what other ones. I am looking forward to at the end of November I'm doing Moonlight Market. So I'm excited about that. I've never done that one, but I've heard like it's a really good turnout. Regionally, I really love going to Morgantown. It's kind of like a little getaway for me because I live in Charleston, and I've gotten to like make friends there, and then
Yeah.
I really like I go up to Pittsburgh sometimes afterwards and like go around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
That's another
so
place I need
it's
to
a
make it to is Pittsburgh, but
yes, it's so cool. It has like the most bridges of any city in U.S. It has like
oh,
400
really?
bridges. Yeah, it's crazy. I know it's weird, but
If you want to just let people know where that they can, I'll list it in the show notes too, but it's always sometimes good to hear too that where people can find you to connect?
So I am on Instagram and Facebook at Bashful Bee Press. I'm on TikTok too, but I'm not as active. I think you can just look up Bashful Bee. I think it's like at Bashful Bee 1. And I also have a website that's bashfulbeepress.com. So you can look me up there as well. I'm currently developing it a bit more, but it's very basic, and you can see some of my art on there. So yeah.
That's all that matters, though. Like, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, like,
Absolutely. And then yeah, so you can get my event calendars on Facebook and Instagram mostly, and yeah, it's a lot of fun.
so I do have one last thing that I do like to try to incorporate, and it's just kind of like random icebreaker. It's the rapid fire questions. So
Okay.
if you are ready for those, we can do that if you want.
Okay, yeah, totally.
So I feel like these are usually supposed to be secret, but I did include, I think, one in the email. So we're not going to start with that one, but
Okay.
kind of just whatever first comes to your mind, you can just say, okay? And then we'll just deliberate.
Okay.
Okay, so first one is, what is your go-to karaoke song? And it does not have to be going out for karaoke, but if you're at karaoke or if you're in your kitchen cleaning and you have, your dish wand as your mic, what is your go-to karaoke song?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Take On Me by Aha.
That's solid.
It's so much fun. If I've had a few drinks in me, that's like, yeah.
I feel like next time that happens, I need to be there so I can witness
Okay,
it, okay?
yeah, absolutely.
I have no idea what mine would be, and I feel like it would be something like here lately I've been listening to like a lot of Heart, so I feel like it would be like,
Yeah.
I don't know, just something by them. That's what it would probably be.
They were supposed to come here, I think, to West
What?
Virginia. Yeah, but they canceled because I think one of the singers got sick or something.
Oh, boo. Well, hopefully they recovered, but
Yeah.
sad because I would have loved to have been there.
I know. I'm like, it sounds like it would have been a really good concert.
It probably would have been.
Yeah.
All right, question number 2 is, if you could live in any fictional world for a week, where would you go?
Man, just a week? Okay, The Borrowers. Do you remember that movie from like the 90s?
Was it like the little, like, borrowers? Was it like the mice or something? Or no?
They were like small people, like only like a couple
Borrowers.
inches tall, and they would borrow things from the houses and like make their like own little place. I would really like to do that. And I think there's an anime based on that too. Like The Secret World of Arietti.
Oh my god, yes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that a Studio Ghibli movie or not?
I think it is.
Now that you say that and piece that, I connect it. I know exactly what you're talking about. That would be so cool.
They're both very similar. I would live in either of those worlds.
I feel like, I don't know, mine would maybe be, I just started again watching Rings of Power, and I feel like
Oh.
if everything was calm and not chaotic, Middle Earth would be really neat. Just to
Yeah,
see.
that's a really good idea. Yeah. I feel like the Lord of the Rings world is just like gorgeous. So
Uh-huh.
I could totally see that. Like if it was peaceful, like
Uh-huh. Okay, I don't know if we've touched on this one, but I'm going to ask it anyway. When you're not working, where might we find you in Appalachia, or you can just like section it to West Virginia?
I kind of feel like I'm a homebody a lot of the time, so
Listen.
like I am home a lot, but I also do occasionally make it out to like local shows and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So I'll go to Huntington sometimes to Loud and watch like local bands play. I really like Slack Plaza in Charleston, and I'm trying to think what else. I'll do comedy sometimes, so like you can find me doing like comedy in like Huntington, like doing open mics and stuff like that. So
Oh my goodness, you do comedy. Do you go to
sometimes.
comedy, or
I
do you?
haven't done it in quite a
Okay,
while.
okay. Well, that's so cool though.
It was my pandemic hobby, and then yeah.
Listen, my pandemic hobby
It-
was Animal Crossing.
Oh yes! Oh my gosh, Animal Crossing is so awesome. I'm trying to think where else. I like Taylor Books a lot in Charleston, which is it's like a nice little
Same.
place. So I'll go there sometimes. I like that little underground movie theater, the Flora Lee, I think it's called.
I've never been there, and I've walked past it
Oh
a
man,
ton of times. So
yeah, you gotta go. They show like a lot of A24 films,
okay,
and just like sometimes they'll show like foreign films. Like they showed Parasite one year. It's really neat. You can see a lot of films there.
I'll have to try to make it out. I'm gonna keep my eye open and make it like a goal to make it there.
Yeah.
All right, and final question is, I kind of just, art wanted to stick to like an art theme, and you may have
Yeah.
already touched on it, but do you have a favorite artist? Be it who it can be anybody. It doesn't have to be famous or anybody, but do you have a favorite artist?
I don't know that I do. I really just like appreciate a bunch of different artists.
Uh huh.
But I think if I were to just choose one, I think especially in college, my inspiration would have been Edward Hopper, which is really weird, but like he did all these amazing paintings and like he did prints and stuff like that. So I was very inspired by him. So I think it would be Edward Hopper, like famous artists.
Yeah.
And then locally, I'm inspired by there are a lot of really good local artists.
Really though.
Yeah. I think like Jamie Miller is one of my favorite like local artists. Like I really appreciate her style. And another one would be what is his name? Oh, it's terrible. I can't remember his name right now. He goes by Oddity Gumption on Instagram, and he makes these really beautiful illustrations that are focused on like these quirky figures, and they're like a lot of fun.
I'll have to. I'm not familiar with it. I'll have to look it up.
Yeah, I'll have to. Yeah, I'll send it to you because they're
Please
really
do.
good.
So I believe that is everything. Do you have anything else that you want to chat about? Say any like lasting advice to leave off with?
I would say that if you're thinking about starting a creative business, I would say just go for it. There's nothing really holding you back. I know it is scary because there's like a lot of like little things, but you learn as you go. Go for it and meet people. Don't be afraid of people, and just enjoy what.
Yes, definitely. That was good. That was very good.
Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you being here and
Absolutely.
allowing
Thank you
me
for having me.
into your space. I know that we're still virtual, but allowing
Yeah.
me into your space. And to everyone listening, be sure to head over to the Facebook page and the Instagram page, and of course, check out the show notes on the website. And be sure to check out Lindsay and connect with her as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
You're so welcome. Have a great evening.
You too. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on social media for updates. Until next time, stay connected and don't be a stranger.